From Schwarzenegger and Stallone to Pacino and De Niro, and onward to Norris and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, there is no shortage of imagery, either in film or online, of action stars smoking cigars. Hell, even Charlie Bronson got in on the action back in the day by smoking a stogie in bed after bumping uglies with Jill Ireland on the set of Noon Till 3. It was this discussion of action stars and their affinity for cigars that eventually led us here at Klaro to start discussing the need for a cigar box that's made from, well, a 50 cal ammo can. Now, this whole discussion started off more as just, well, smoking stogies around the campfire and drinking some whiskey and saying, wouldn't that be cool if we did this or that? And it didn't really ever materialize into much until we really started to think about it. The more we discussed this topic of turning a 50 cal ammo can into a functional humidor, the more it made sense. And there's a reason for this, as you shall soon see. This is the Klaro smoke can, 50 cal in Black Ops. You can also get it military green if you like. And this sucker is the toughest humidor we make. It looks good on the shelf, but it really is meant for travel, and safe travel at that. It's got everything you need it to keep a fair deal of cigars well humidified and safe for weeks at a time. And it has some extra additions that we have custom fabricated to make it work on the inside. Now, this was easier said than done, because for as kick-ass and sturdy as a 50 cal bullet box is, these things really have their restrictions in certain ways. We had to figure out how to fit some Spanish cedar inside and get proper airflow going through it. Where are you going to put the humidification device? What about a hygrometer, accessory trays, things like that? So it took a little bit of engineering on our end to figure it out, but we got it. And here's what we got in return. Now, being that these are genuine 50 cal boxes we're talking here, this is going to have an M2A1 stamping on the back of each unit. So they are indeed military grade through and through. And because of that, the lid, as you flip up, you'll notice is fully removable, which is kind of a nice touch. Don't have to worry about it flipping back on you if you don't want to worry about it. Just set it aside if you're really going through and rotating cigars. Take a gander inside of the Klaro smoke can, and you will note a dual pouch setup that is fully removable and magnetized. We'll get to that part in just a moment. Since this is an ammo can we're talking about, we couldn't really figure out where to put an accessory tray because there's just not space for one, or space where there would be easy access. So we devised a way to put the accessories in the lid or on the outside of the ammo can by building this ballistic nylon pouch. Extended Velcro tape so you can fit different size cutters and lighters inside of it, as well as a pretty wide breadth to it. Looking at it, I can fit in almost any lighter I have in my arsenal right now in here. It's pretty much something that's modular. You can slap it inside the lid, you can slap it on the side, you can put it pretty much anywhere you need or want it, either on the unit itself, in your vehicle, or elsewhere. And being that this is military spec, well, you got to go with a little bit of camos because, well, it only sounds befitting. Smoke can's lid removed, along with its accessory tray, we turn toward the interior, where you will note a powder-coated black hygrometer holder, as well as authentic Spanish cedar. The hygrometer itself is fully removable and sits fairly snug down in the unit. Being that this is something that is just U-shaped, or horseshoe-shaped, shall I say, it can slide on either end of the unit itself. So if you got something that's a little stubbier on one end, that's a Robusto, and you don't want this to be in the way, you can move it up top, things like that. It also kind of helps your cigars from rattling around too much when you fill it up, because it sits a little bit lower than the lid itself, and prevents them from coming into contact with those hinges as it opens and closes. Now, some of you may note that I only have 57% read and write here on my hygrometer, and that is because I just got this in the mail the other day and have yet to season the Spanish cedar inside. Anytime you get a new humidor that has Spanish cedar inside of it, you're gonna need to condition that with some hydro solution. So that's why this is sitting a little bit low. I just haven't gotten around to conditioning it yet. Since this is military spec, we are all about following in that line of modular everything. Move things around, attach things as needed, and that's where this comes in or out of the situation. Hygrometer removed, you can lift up your top cedar tray, which, yes, as mentioned earlier, does need to be seasoned and is a little dry to the touch right now. Underneath it, you will discover that there is a hidden slotted tray that will not slide this way, but will slide this way. Inside of this slot, there is a powder-coated black thick gauge steel tray intended for what I have in my hand right here, and that is a humidity pack. This machined metal tray allows humidity and airflow to equally circulate within the smoke can. This is a simple solution that we came up with. It works really well with the cedar trays, and you don't have to worry about adding any liquid solution to the situation. You just drop these in and go. Now, it is worth noting that this particular humidity pack that I have in here right now is something that did not come with the unit. It is a separate pack that I had on hand that I found fits a little bit better in the tray, so bear that in mind. However, the pack that does come with each one of these 50 cal boxes fits beautifully underneath the bottom cedar tray, which also needs to be conditioned, yes. And it just sits flush right in the bottom. Because this is elevated, it can rest down underneath and provide plenty of humidity underneath all the cigars in the bottom storage tray. And then that allows this top one to provide additional humidity as needed up on the upper end. But that's pretty much it. It's a fairly straightforward design that took a little bit of fiddling and creativity on our end, but we made it happen. And we also over-engineered the hell out of it. We wanted to go military grade all the way with this sucker, which is why you grab the hygrometer bracket. This thing is heavy gauge steel, just like the ammo box itself, and very, very hardcore and matte black to match. Now, a few final notes on the smoke can 50 cal box is the fact that this is an ideal unit for those of you who like to go fishing or are out on a boat smoking because you recently picked up a yacht or something like that. Because it is a genuine ammo can. There is a silicone gasket around the side of it, and when this sucker's latched down, it is waterproof. So you don't have to worry about any moisture getting in or out for that matter, and it floats. Another couple of touches that you will discover are the felt feet on the bottom that protect any surface that you set this sucker on top of, and also makes it a little bit quieter when you set it down because it is a sturdy metal construction. And finally, there's the topic of stogie security. May it be prying hands and eyes wanting to get inside and swipe some stogies, or little kids at a birthday party. Hey, what's in here? Since there is no latching lock on the outside, you're going to have to do things the military way. Flip up this hinge, pull up your release lever, and suddenly you have an access point where you could put a cable lock on it, or if it's the right size, an actual padlock. That means that with that engaged like this and this sitting around the outside, it can't be unlocked without a key. One final interesting note about the smoke can is that because it is a part of our military humidor line, a certain amount of proceeds from each sale go towards Cigars for Warriors, where this nonprofit provides stogies to men and women overseas who deserve to have a cigar from time to time like the rest of us. It's a great cause, and we are happy to be joining up with them to help make tobacco and premium tobacco at that easily accessible to our armed forces. So there you have it. A very straightforward design, reimagined and repurposed for your smoking pleasure. What you choose to do with your smoke can 50 cal box though is really up to you. Me personally, I'm going to be loading it with the most important cigars that I have, because when that apocalypse breaks out and those zombies are roaming the streets, you know I'm going to be ready to get out of town and fire up some sticks out in the sticks.